Welcome to Retrospection. My name's Colin, and I'm enjoying the view from Shell Beach.
And I'm Paul, and I told you, I look like an orange.
In each episode, we take an old comfy sweater of a TV show or film and hope that it's still nice to wear and not it's become all scratchy and moth-eaten. In this show, we're taking a look at Highlander Endgame from 2000. The fourth
Sorry, but why do you seem like you're laughing when you say it?
We'll say laughing about what?
When you say the name of the movie, you sound like you're laughing.
When I say Highlander Endgame?
Yeah, it's like a burly contained snigger coming from you.
No such thing.
Okay, I'll be watching.
Alright. And this is the fourth instalment in the Highlander series, and the one that tries to join together the cinematic universe and the television world. That's right, Marvel. Highlander was there first.
I never thought of that. That's true, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not sure how successful they were.
Yeah.
Well, I know exactly how successful they were.
In Endgame, we find that Immortals Connor and Duncan MacLeod must join forces against Kell, an evil immortal who has become too strong for anyone to face alone.
And that's kind of pretty much it, isn't it, really?
Yep, that's it.
There's a bit of a subplot with Connor and his mum, isn't there?
Yeah, the film stars Adrian Paul as Duncan MacLeod, Christopher Lambert as Connor MacLeod, Bruce Payne as Jacob Kell, Lisa Babuskia, I have no idea, as Kate MacLeod, or Faith, because she's got both names.
Just about good enough, which is practically what she is.
Donnie Yen as Jin Key.
Donnie Yen, eh?
Yeah.
Who'd have thought it? He's long before Rogue One and the Donnie Yen.
Jim Burns as Joe Dawson, and Peter Wingfield as Mythos.
What an all-star cast.
Yeah. Look them up if you don't know who they are. The film had a $25 million budget and made $15.8 million.
That's pretty good compared to some of the other movies that we've talked about on this podcast.
I guess. The film was originally supposed to be a bridge between the Highlander TV series and the spin-off series Highlander The Raven, but The Raven was cancelled before the film was even begun, so that kind of ruins those plans.
And I think that the character of Faith was meant to be the female character from The Raven originally.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Right. There are two releases of the film, a producer's cut and the theatrical release.
We've watched the producer's cut, haven't we?
Yes, we have. And Dimension Films wanted it to have a shorter pace, so they demanded cuts to be made. So unless you have anything else, Paul?
Just the usual stuff about, alternative castings that almost happened. The Bruce Payne role could have gone to Billy Idol at one point.
Okay.
Or David Bowie was on the short list. And bizarrely, Jean-Claude Van Damme, but apparently he turned it down because he didn't play bad guys at that point in his career.
Now he just plays anybody.
Well, clearly not, because he didn't take this role. And as for Faith, it could have either been Juliet Landau. All the Buffy fans out there will know who that is. Or Lucy Lawless. Could have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
More interesting.
She would have killed them all. I would have feared for Duncan MacLeod's life.
Interestingly, this movie was not screened for critics at the time.
Really? Can't imagine why.
Neither can I. And as you say, it was meant to be a bridge between the series and the films, which they were hoping would reinvigorate the movie franchise.
Worked well.
It did, didn't it? There was one other movie after this, that had Adrian Paul in.
What's that one called?
It's called Highlander the Sauce.
Oh, it's like ketchup and Big Daddies or something? What's it about?
Big Daddies?
I don't know. I've been in the States too long. I can't remember the names of my sauces.
It was close enough. I can't believe you've forgotten your condiments. No, that wasn't good. That was worse. I think that one tried to do that terrible thing of trying to explain everything. And I have a vague memory of Duncan becoming a fetus at the end of the movie.
Wow.
But, yeah.
That's interesting.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
On that note, let's hear the trailer.
For centuries, immortals have moved silently among us, knowing that in the end there could be only one. But now, in this world, in this time, I don't care about the game. I don't care about the rules. A supernatural enemy has grown too strong for any immortal to face alone.
He's surrounded himself by immortals loyal only to him.
There has never been a more powerful immortal.
They're the worst.
What has always been a fight for one
Neither one of us can beat him alone.
has now become a battle two must face
You and Connor are like brothers.
together.
One of us has to die now, and you know it.
Highlander Endgame.
Okay, we can't let that one slide. A supernatural enemy?
Well, I suppose they're all immortals, so technically they're kind of supernatural. aren't
All
they?
of them are. So that doesn't make him special then, because they're referring to Kel.
Yeah, but he's an immortal, so he is a supernatural enemy.
Yeah, I
He
think
is an enemy who
I
is supernatural.
just think you're stretching. Because it shows Duncan splitting Kel in two down the middle with light coming out. That's not in the film.
No, that's not in the movie. No.
There's a shot of Duncan and Connor jumping through a portal.
Yeah, I didn't see any portals.
No. We see a shot of Kel stopping a sword in mid-flight using a force field.
No, we do see that shot, but not the swords flying towards him.
And no force field.
No force field.
So not that shot then.
Well, elements of that shot.
All right. Kel holding up a crystal ball with a face inside, then blowing on it, which causes it to explode.
Yeah, that's not in the movie.
I mean, this trailer is for a very different film.
Well, I mean, are you suggesting that perhaps the filmmakers tried to give the impression that that it was going to be a far more exciting movie than what it actually turned out to be?
I would say that's exactly right.
So are you suggesting that they saw the movie, thought, oh my God, what are we going to do with this? Nobody's going to want to go and see this. We'll chuck some magic in the trailer.
Yes, that's exactly what they said.
It's very cynical of you, Colin. I suppose it harks back to the days of the 50s and the 60s when they used to create posters for movies before they'd even got a script.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't fly now, right?
Oh, no. Could you imagine it?
I mean, look what happened when Rogue One had that TIE fighter that flew up from the platform that wasn't in the film.
Oh, everybody jumped all over it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this whole trailer is made from things that are not in the film.
Well, there's a lot in the trailer that is in the movie. You're kind of saying that.
No, the whole trailer is completely different. I mean,
Would you have rather have seen that movie then?
Yes. All right.
Spoilers. Don't spoil it.
You asked.
You didn't have to answer. You could have just looked at me cryptically. The listeners wouldn't have known.
All right. Having said all that, let's enjoy what really Highlander Endgame is about.
Yes, let's.
So we begin with the logo, and it's a Dimension film, which was a label owned by the Walt Disney Company and then by the Weinsteins.
When the Miramax logo came up, I'd forgotten that it was released by them, and I'm thinking, Miramax released this movie?
Yeah, because Dimension was their genre film release label.
But I'm just surprised that they left the label Miramax on there.
I mean, we made fun last time about how many canon films we've seen, and this isn't a canon film, but Dimension, they're pretty much just canon, right?
Yeah, they're kind of schlocky, genre-based movies, aren't they? A lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
Cheap horror movies, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we get ominous thunder and lightning. Intro plays while we see the credits. Really long credits.
They are, and they're kind of boring, aren't they? But they do look a bit Matrixy, I thought.
Yeah.
All right, carry on.
And we get on-screen text and a narration. In the days before memory. What does that mean?
Well, in the days before anyone started to remember stuff. You've obviously woke up some days and you can't remember a damn thing, haven't you?
Oh, so it's in the days after you've been on the piss.
That'll be it, yeah.
Oh,
there was a lot of that going on.
They should have just written that.
It doesn't roll off the tongue the same, though, does it?
No.
Particularly Christopher Lambert's, you see what I did there? Christopher Lambert's accent
I'm not going to pronounce his name correctly. I'm going to pronounce it a different way every time, because that's what he does to the language anyway.
He's French.
Not my fault.
Oh. You don't even live here anymore. You haven't got to say.
There were the Immortals. We were with you then.
Yeah.
When? What did he mean? Before the memories they were with us, or after? When
Well,
was
nobody
they?
knows because nobody can remember.
So, okay. And we are with you now. Okay.
Yeah.
We are driven by the endless fight to survive.
Unlike normal humans, because they're not.
No. In a game which knows no limit of time or place. So how do they know they're with us now? Or they were with us before? There's no time, no place.
You're being very harsh.
We are the seeds of legend. But our true origins are unknown.
You might as well have said, we're not aliens, all right? We're not aliens. Do you remember that second movie where we said we were aliens? We're not aliens, okay? Remember, we're not aliens.
We simply are.
That's right.
And at this point, I thought there was going to be more, and he's going to say we simply are, and then he's going to say what they are. And then I thought, he's forgotten. It's before memory.
Exactly, it's before the time of memory. He doesn't know, does
Just
he?
leaving it hanging. So then we get New York 10 years ago, or actually Romania dressed up to look like New York.
And you could so tell between the stock footage and the actual footage, can't you?
Yeah. And Duncan MacLeod and Connor MacLeod are exiting a subway station.
Mm-hmm.
Connor tells Duncan he has an errand to run and has to do it alone. Duncan's confused. I mean, you called me in Paris and said we had to meet, and now you got to go alone. What's going on? Connor's like, I don't know, it's nothing. But Duncan, he knows something is wrong.
Could you tell that from his subtle acting skills?
Absolutely. Picked it up, no problem.
Yeah, it's good that you did.
Yeah. So they make an arrangement.
Can I just ask, why are they talking in French at the start of this scene?
Because Duncan's French.
Well, he's Scottish, isn't he?
I don't know. Doesn't make any sense.
You hear him later, in the flashbacks later, you see him in Scotland, and he's speaking in a Scottish accent.
Yeah, but then we see him in Ireland, and they've got Irish accents.
Yeah, well, they kind of tailor their accents to where they are, don't they?
Except when they're in Italy, then they don't bother. Because that would probably been racist.
Well, nobody... You see, without they'll come across as Mario, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly, because of Christopher Lambert doing an Italian accent.
Hey, Giuseppe! That was mine.
It's good.
See, I could do it.
I thought Lambert was in the room.
Could you smell it? Could you smell the garlic?
Absolutely. Connor tells Duncan to watch his back and then just leaves. And then we see a woman entering Connor MacLeod's antique store and home while calling out for him. This turns out to be Rachel, Connor's wife, but I thought it was the cleaning lady or something for the first 15 minutes of the film.
Well, this is the problem that this movie has. And just to correct you there, she isn't Connor's wife.
She's not? Who is she?
Again, this is a problem that runs through this movie. It assumes that you're completely up to date with all the Highlander lore up to this point. It assumes that you've watched all the movies and that you've watched the TV show.
Which is stupid.
It is stupid. I will concede to that. No, she's in the original movie, Rachel, and she is an adopted kid that he found during the Second World War that he saved from the Nazis.
Ah, okay.
You remember the flashback in the original movie where he
vaguely
he shoots some Nazis down and says, "Hey, you're the master race" or something, and shoots them. That's the kid, and she's in this actress is in the original movie playing this character. She's kind of like his
cleaning lady.
He's living cleaning lady.
Yeah, I was right. I was totally correct.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Now I'm happy. She hears voices, probably in her head, but they're not. And further into the home, she sees a TV playing a video with sound, but for some unknown reason, it's in sepia with scratches, but it's clearly a modern video turned brown.
It looks like it's in HD, doesn't it? And they've just...
Yeah, it doesn't look... It's just turned it... I don't know. So a musical ornament starts to play, the phone rings, a metronome starts to click. I don't know why.
Tension. It's building the tension.
Yeah, but what started the metronome?
I don't even think the metronome's relevant, is it? I think obviously the director sound. The director just thought that's going to look cool, isn't it? There's a lot of that in this movie, isn't there?
We cut to Connor approaching his antique store.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the sound of the phone and the metronome continue.
Why is she so stressed? Why is she frightened of the phone ringing? 'Cause she doesn't know there's a bomb in the place, does she?
No. Maybe she just hates metronomes.
Could be. Or she's wondering, is she going senile? I don't remember leaving the video on when I left.
Is a metronome a goblin that likes the subway?
Only in Paris.
Only in Paris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Connor sees a suspicious man moving away from the store, and everything now is in slow motion. And on the heel of the man's shoes are 3 white crosses.
Yes. Remember those crosses, they're relevant.
Mm-hmm. Rachel finally got over her fear of telephones. Answers it. But boy, if she ever had a fear before, she's got one now, because as she answers the phone, a huge explosion rips through the building and kills her.
Yeah, it's boom, isn't it? She goes to pieces.
She does. I'm not even going to pretend I heard that. Connor screams out her name. Cleaning lady!
He's crossing the street, isn't he, as it goes off?
Yeah.
It was unlucky, wasn't it? You could argue that maybe Kel was waiting for the exact moment that he was going to be coming back, so that he would see it.
I assume that later from what he says, but not at this moment.
Well, you can't assume anything, can you? Because you don't know anything.
By the time it finishes, you still don't.
I mean, I have to say that when I watched this movie originally, or for the first time many, many years ago when it came out, I understood exactly what was happening, but only because I watched the TV show and I remember the movies.
Right. So then we cut to present day in a place called the Sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
Connor is narrating, and he's strapped into a chair with a cover over his eyes, like a helmet-type device. And he's in a circle of other people who are in the same situation. Place looks like an empty warehouse or a basement or something, I guess.
Isn't it supposed to be the basement of a monastery or something?
I thought that, but then that contradicts something later, unless I'm wrong, which we'll talk about when we get to it. Okay. But whatever it is, it's cheap.
Really?
Yeah. And he says, a very long time ago, I was a Highlander. And we cut to flying over Scotland with the obligatory flutes playing, and it looks like a biscuit tin lid.
Yes, it does. And it's also stuff from the original movie as well.
Right, and I think it's cinematic law that whenever you show a Scottish hill, you have to have flutes or panpipes playing.
How else are you going to know that's where you are?
Yeah, it could be Romania.
It could well be. It could well be. In fact, you're lucky if it's not.
Most of the film is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So now we're in Scotland in 1555. Connor is being threatened by a group of villagers. Why do they continue to haunt you? Haunt you? They're not ghosts.
Haunt you?
Sorry.
Ooh, Connor.
Wait, that sounds like something from a Carry On film. Where you got a camp ghost. All right, camp ghost. It's just
Connor.
It's just a ghost that likes campsites.
Oh.
Why do they continue to haunt you? His wife asks. Oh, they need someone to blame, he replies.
And this is the same actress that played Heather in the original movie as well.
Oh,
there's a lot of that in this film. There's a lot of trying to link it all together.
Fantastic. Connor leaves his wife to visit home.
That was shockingly painful and sharp, that. Ow, I felt it.
He rides his horse away. After telling her nothing can keep them away, he goes away.
Well, he's going to go and sort them out, isn't he? That's what he's going to go and do.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't one of them shout to him, rot in hell? It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
I guess.
So who's got the best Scottish accent so far, do you think?
There's some crows, right?
I was thinking the horses.
The horses? Yeah, they're pretty good. They're authentic Romanian horses, but they imported them from Scotland.
Well, obviously you've got to have some kind of authenticity somewhere in this film, haven't you?
Yeah. Somewhere.
And
then there are more shots courtesy of the Highland Tourist Association. Connor visits his mother. She's ill in bed. And he didn't know that she was ill. What a terrible son.
Well, I mean, she's tucked away in her little hovel. She's doing all right, isn't she?
Well, I guess. Nobody comes to look after her. And she's dying.
But other than that, she's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Connor tells her she's coming with him. As he holds her, he feels pain. It's not explained what that is, but I figured it out later.
Yeah. You have to do a lot of that, don't you?
Yeah, right. The door is kicked in and a priest
He did. He's a friend that we've never seen in... A really close friend, apparently, isn't he? That we've never seen in the other 3 movies previous to this.
Which, if you're viewing this film on its own, is the only point that makes sense here, because you wouldn't know that.
True, yeah.
Of course, that also ruins everything else, but, you know. Yeah. So the priest accuses him of black magic, and they take him away and imprison him. And Kell has white crosses on the back of his shoes, like the man did in New York.
I do think it's nice that he kept up that aesthetic all through the centuries, don't you?
For 400 years?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, he found something that worked for himself. It's like if you find a hat that, you know, you look good in. You're always going to buy that hat, aren't you?
Imagine if you forgot, though. They didn't remember every pair of shoes. There's got to be a pair they just forgot.
Oh, this guy, he puts on every single shoe that he's got. He even puts it on his open-toed sandals, I'd wager.
Perhaps he's got them on his feet as well.
What?
On his socks. Crocheted on his socks.
Drawn onto his toenails.
Yeah, everywhere. So now they're going to kill Connor's mother by burning her alive. They think she's a witch, and Connor is the spawn of evil. They set her alight.
He's a what?
Spawn of evil.
All right, I thought you said the spore of evil.
No, the spawn of evil.
Oh, all right, okay.
You've heard that phrase before.
I have. I've just never heard it from...
Aimed at you.
Aimed at... Yes. We're getting back to be at work again, are we?
Yeah.
I couldn't help but thinking of the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail where they're trying to burn the witch.
Yeah.
Who knows? I was waiting for John Cleese to go, burn her!
That's pretty much what happens.
Well, it is, isn't it?
They set her alight, and as Connor tries to break the bars of his prison, finally he breaks free, killing the guards, and tries to rescue his mother, but it's too late.
Did you notice the gratuitous close-up shots of blood spurting everywhere whenever he was stabbing anyone?
I did, yeah.
It was a bit strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, very violent.
Almost like they were inserted in later as an afterthought.
Do you think?
It looks a bit that way to me. Yeah.
So while he's bending over his mother, the priest comes over and Connor stabs him. And the priest is Kell's father. Mm-hmm. And Kell tries to kill Connor by running at him and screaming. So he might have done better if he just kept quiet and approached him, stealthily, you know.
Yes. Well, he's feeling, remorse and pain for what's happened, isn't he?
Yeah. And Connor stabs him, picks up his dead mother, walks away from the flames.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of Bruce Payne's Scottish accent when he picked up he was holding his dead father and he said, "Please, dinna leave me." I thought that was great. Shall we at what point do we discuss Bruce Payne?
We can do it now if you want.
Well, what's the thing that we know him from?
Oh, I don't remember him from anything.
Yellow Thread Street. Yellow Thread Street.
Oh, Yellow Thread Street. Of course, he's one of the detectives.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you want to explain what Yellow Thread Street was? Because we were the only people that watched it, so... Yellow
Thread Street was a very short-lived ITV show, actually made by Yorkshire Television, but was set in Hong Kong. And it was before the handover of Hong Kong back to the Chinese, and so it's about a group of British detectives working in Hong Kong.
And it was quite influenced by Miami Vice, wasn't it? I think at the time.
Yes, and 80s films. It's very gun happy and action and.
Yeah, this is what Bruce Payne was that I remember him from.
I remember him now. Yeah, curly. Yeah, but in that he has long curly hair.
That's right, and he also had long curly hair when he played the bad guy in the Wesley Snipes movie Passenger 57.
Wow, you're like a Bruce Payne aficionado.
Oh, I mean, let's face it, the guy's rubbish, isn't he? It's like watching paint dry. And when he starts later on his monologues, they just go on and on and on.
I assumed the casting for this was done so that Adrian Paul and Christopher Lambert looked good. So they had to go really low.
Yeah, to aim low, just to
boost
yeah, I see
them
what you
up.
mean.
Yeah,
I see. Did it work, in your opinion?
No.
Out of the two, of Christophe Lambert and Adrian Paul, which is the better?
Adrian Paul.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's interesting.
You have a difference of opinion?
Well, you see, the thing with Adrian Paul is, in this movie, it's almost like he's disinterested in the whole thing. there's very little facial expression going on at all, and the way he delivers his lines is monosyllabic at times. Mm-hmm. But he was never like that in the TV series. He was quite charismatic in the TV series, so I don't know what's going on in this film.
Maybe
He's read the script.
Yeah, maybe he just couldn't care at this point.
It could well be. But, I mean, this was his big chance, wasn't it? This was supposed to be his move from the TV show into the movie franchise and carry on the movies with him, wasn't it? That's what the whole idea of this was.
Right.
So you'd think he'd be a little bit more enthusiastic about the whole thing. And I've seen him in some real shite since this, and he's been better in those films.
I don't know. Maybe something was going on, like you
I
said.
saw him in a movie called Eyeborgs.
Eyeborgs?
Eyeborgs, yeah.
Okay.
They're like these little eyes with legs that were, you know.
Sounds cool. That's one to watch.
It was better than he was better in that than he was in this. Yeah, so I'd say Christopher Lambert was better.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Back at the sanctuary and present day, a motorcycle gang in chainmail turns up. Mm-hmm. Why are you people so hard to find? The lead gang member called Carlos asks. We like it that way, replies the monk-like person guarding the sanctuary. He then pulls out a shotgun and shoots Carlos. Another monk steps out and machine guns down the other riders. Then an Asian...
You're losing interest as you read it, aren't you?
An Asian motorcyclist appears, and this is Jin Ye, and kung fu's the two monks.
It's a good action sequence when he does the kung fu, isn't it?
Well, all the martial arts sequences were choreographed by Donnie Yen himself. Mm-hmm. So they're pretty good.
And I'll say this for Adrian Paul, he does do a lot of his own stuff.
Oh, you don't mean drugs, you meant actual. Sorry.
No, his actual fight scenes.
Right. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
He could do the sword fighting. He could do the because I think the guy, one of the guys from the biker gang, the guy with the chain, he's his actual what he calls his sensei. He's the one that taught him all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a fight breaks out, and the monks finally shoot Jin. Take their heads, says one of them. They might be immortals. Yes, they might be, replies one of the monks, and stabs the other monk. Turns out that he's with the motorcycle gang.
But he just knelt down beside him, wasn't he? And he just stood up slowly.
Yeah.
How long was he knelt there? Didn't no one see him?
Days.
Didn't no one go, why is that monk just knelt down?
Oh, he's praying.
With a big sword in his hand.
Praying to his sword.
He's praying to his sword. All right.
You've done that a few times. This robed immortal enters the room that holds Connor MacLeod and the other immortals. He gives a speech about not caring about the game, the rules, or the pathetic souls you keep locked up. He says he's searching for Connor and cuts the heads off a couple of the prisoners, then cuts a pipe. The smoke release, sparks and electricity, and I'm not sure what's going on at this point.
My problem with this is, okay, so we've established that there's rules, isn't there? They can't fight on holy ground. They can't fight more than one-on-one at a time.
Not in this film, but yes, in other films and TV series, etc.
Yeah, but they mention the rules later, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, they said, you know, because when they attack, when the biker gang attack Duncan in a little while, he says this isn't a team sport, doesn't he?
Okay.
But if you're going to say that there's rules, then there has to be consequences if you break those rules. Otherwise, no one would keep to those rules.
Right.
But there doesn't seem to be any consequences. He's killing on holy ground. He's killing immortals left, right, and centre, and nothing happens to him.
This was my question about whether this was a monastery, really, because how can he do this if it...
Yeah. I mean, they covered this subject a lot better in the TV show, and there were consequences to immortals that broke the rules.
Right. Not this guy.
Not this guy. He's Bruce Payne.
Yeah. Payne by name.
Pain in the ass.
We cut to Duncan MacLeod, who appears to be posed as if he's stopping traffic, while wearing a rather fetching dressing gown.
He's practising something, isn't he?
Yeah. Traffic signals. So he's performing some kind of Tai Chi while sounding like he's having a major bowel movement, and stomach issues will appear throughout this film.
What, his or yours?
The whole of Immortals, they appear to have issues.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought maybe this movie had made you sick or something.
Not now, I'm overcome it.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. We see flashbacks of people he's killed, and they disturb his thoughts.
They do, don't they? He can't settle. He can't become one.
Right, with his cheese.
I'm not sure what. Yeah, with his cheese. What about Adrian Paul as Bond? Could he have been Bond?
Back then?
Or not good enough to be Bond?
Yeah, not good enough to be Bond.
Well, I did look it up online, and I found one little entry somewhere that said that in 2005 he was considered, but they felt that he was ultimately too old for the part at the time.
Too old?
Yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, well, what was Roger Moore, 70 at the time, running around?
Well, in 2005, wouldn't it have been? It would have been Brosnan at that point, wouldn't he? And he would have been older than I would have thought than what Adrian Paul was.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you think maybe they just, when he said, "Oh, why haven't I got the part?" they just made some excuse up.
Probably. Maybe they say that to everybody.
Yeah. Oh, you're too old. Really? Yeah. Get him out.
Yeah. So back at the sanctuary, people are taking photographs of the corpses left there. What do we do now? Asks one. We're watchers, not cops. We find another volunteer, responds the guy in charge, called Matthew. We're not told who the watchers are. We're supposed to know this. Again,
this is the thing. If you haven't watched the TV series, you've not got a clue what's going on at this point.
Right. In London, Duncan is walking along the Thames. A payphone rings. He stops and answers it. Whatever you fear about Connor MacLeod, fear the worst. Which, again...
What would that be?
But it makes no sense. What does it mean? And even after you've seen the film and you go back to that line, it still makes no sense.
Oh, isn't the implication, he's worried that something's happened to him? And this phone call confirms it for him.
Oh, you mean like if you fear he's dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's badly written, so it doesn't come across that way, does it?
Yeah, I mean...
I understand. Yeah,
at first I thought it was, about German sausages. Fear the worst.
You were so trying to get that in there, weren't you?
I just thought of it then. Just then.
Up there for comedy, down there for dancing, eh?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a female voice. She hangs up before Duncan can find out who it is. Meanwhile, Matthew, the watcher, is watching.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah,
what do you want them to do?
I don't know.
What would you like them to do?
Dance.
Poke about?
Poke about.
Poke about.
It sounds like that was all one word.
Isn't that some card game that people used to play in the 90s? Poke about.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Duncan visits Mephos, another immortal, who we don't learn anything about other than that he's 1,000 years old.
Again, need to watch the TV series.
No, I don't. Duncan asks him if he has nightmares that can break his meditation. Duncan tells Mephos that something wasn't right about Connor that day Rachel was killed in the explosion.
Doesn't he say he's had some bloody images? We've all had those, haven't we?
No. Only you. Duncan asks me...
Bloody images. And bloody images.
Get them off my computer.
Yeah. What?
Duncan asks Mephos if Connor is still alive. Mephos tells him about the Sanctuary, a place where you can be removed from the game forever. He tells Duncan that Connor went there. Duncan can't believe that Connor would go to such a place, and Mephos tells him that the Sanctuary has been annihilated.
And we get flashbacks to something that we've seen about 20 minutes ago, don't we?
We cut to Ireland in 1712. Connor and Duncan are out riding with terrible accents.
What, are they on the back of the horses?
Yeah. They meet some thieves trying to steal money for two women in a carriage, and for some reason the thieves are all badly dubbed.
It's because they're... one of them's an American wrestler.
You sure they're not all Romanian?
No, one of them is an American wrestler at the time. He was called The Edge.
Oh, okay. I saw his name in the credits.
The Edge.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with The Edge from U2. Obviously,
that's what I was thinking. And where's he? Spent the whole film looking for someone from U2.
Wouldn't it be funny if Bono turned up in this?
Kind of pleased he wasn't.
He could have played Jacob Kell.
He could have, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have worked. Better than Bruce Payne.
Yeah. Then we get a comedic sword fight.
Yeah, they're going for the Richard Lester Three Musketeers vibe in this, aren't they?
Yeah, but not funny.
But not funny.
Duncan and Connor obviously win the fight, and the lady leaves in the carriage while dropping her hanky. And this lady is, of course, Kate.
Kate, yes. Or yes. Faith, as we
Faith, yeah. Back in New York, Duncan arrives at Connor's old antique store, now boarded up and in ruins. He enters and looks around.
And we get a flashback to the explosion that we saw again about 10, 15 minutes ago.
Right, yes. Each object triggers a tedious flashback. That's what I've written it.
Now, that is a bit like the TV show.
Right. So we go to Italy in 1631. Connor and Duncan are sparring with their accents. Sorry, swords.
They're going full-on Scottish in this moment, aren't they?
Apparently, yeah.
As again, I said, they can't. It's either that or Mario, isn't it? So
Yeah. Connor is training Duncan and explaining the quickening, which is that the strength of the dead immortal flows into the victor, making him or her stronger, until there is only one left alive, and they get the prize. And I believe the prize is a blankety-blank checkbook and pen.
well, at least that would be something, wouldn't it? You don't get. Because apparently you don't get anything. Because in the original movie, he won the prize, didn't he?
Yeah,
Connor?
that was it. And then he went, there can only be one. And then he looked and it was an asterisk after the one. And then down below he said, maybe not.
You see this way, you always check the fine print on those.
Yeah. Shocking. Connor points out that eventually they will have to fight each other. Although, for some reason, Connor says sooner or later we'll have to fart. There's that stomach problem again.
No, I need some evidence. Can you prove this to me?
Absolutely. Take a listen.
I slept. Listen, soon you and I will have to part. There is one more thing I want to give to you.
Yeah, it does sound a bit like fart, doesn't it?
It's totally fat. They got issues.
Maybe it's it's all that haggis, isn't it?
Is that what it is? All that haggis?
Well, I mean, what is a haggis? No, seriously, what is a haggis?
It's innards, right? It's everything.
Innards?
In a sheep's lining stomach.
Yeah, with like barley and stuff like that stuffed into it, isn't it?
Oh, you're making me hungry.
I was going to... Yeah, but then you'll be farting.
Well, I don't fight. I'm no swordsman. Connor forces Duncan to attack him from behind. Steady. Know what you're thinking.
Not a word. Wasn't going to say a word.
Connor still defeats him with a special move.
Special move, yeah. What you do is you hold down R2, you hit circle, and you do a little wiggle on the D-pad, and that's how you get the special move.
Last time I did a little wiggle on a D-pad, I got arrested.
Yeah, and I'm not bailing you out a second time, trust me.
Properly executed, says Connor, this move is unstoppable. Could it be useful later?
It could be, couldn't it?
I'd remember that move if I was him.
Yeah, I'd write it down.
Yeah, imagine if he did, just pull out a notepad, like, hold on. So I put my left foot in.
Yeah, 1 minute, hold on.
Yeah, my right foot out.
Get my readers on.
I do the okey cokey. Got it. Back in New York, a woman enters a room, and her name is Kate. It's Kate, yes. But now we call her Faith.
Yes.
And she was the woman...
Dead.
Yes.
Kate's dead.
Kate is dead. She was a woman we saw in the carriage, dropping the hanky back in the other flashback. And she says, do you remember our wedding day, Duncan? And there's another flashback, and then she kicks him.
And at this point, all the people that do watch the TV series are going, no, I don't remember the wedding day either, because in 5 or 6 seasons of Highlander, it's never been mentioned that he ever married anyone. And if he's so cut up about it in this movie, you'd think he would have mentioned it in the past, wouldn't you?
It's kind of annoying that they've spent so much time trying to link it to stuff that you have to watch, but then they have stuff in it that was never in the stuff that you have to watch.
Exactly, and that's one of the problems that I've got with this movie.
Motorbikes crash through the wall.
Oh, it's these guys again, isn't it?
Yeah, and the motorcyclists attack Duncan, and the group we saw attacking the sanctuary. Duncan fights them with one-liners.
Is that what they are? Are they technically one-liners? Could you really say they are?
They short, have a full stop at the end, so they are lines of one.
Well, if you're going to get technical about it, then yeah, I suppose they are.
Right.
Technically,
Lyle. Yeah. Jin appears. Duncan and June go at it. Sword fight sequences are good.
Whoa, missus. So you didn't stop then, so
sometimes I like to just run right through the ones that you're going to go for, because I know where they are.
Yes, I'm sure.
They then fight hand to hand while the others just watch.
It's a good fight.
Oh, yeah, I don't have any problems with the fight scenes. It's nicely directed from a long distance away to allow both actors to show that they're capable of doing what they're doing. I assume the director of the film didn't direct the fight sequence. I assume Donnie Yen did it.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
An interesting fact as well is that Adrian Paul, they were going to do that Matrix thing originally, where they were going to shoot it at half speed and then speed it up afterwards. And Adrian Paul said, no, I want to do it at the speed that Donnie Yen can do it. And he trained really hard to be able to do it. And they're not speeded up, these fight scenes. He really is going at the pace that he is in the movie.
Oh, get a room.
It's just a fact. I'm just throwing a fact out there. I mean, Jesus, he's at least praising for something. There's not a lot to praise him for, is there?
Okay, you're right. So there's a cry of enough, and a man walks down the stairs, and he has crosses on his shoes, and it's Kel.
Yeah, and I was enjoying this whole sequence until he walked in.
When a motorcyclist shoots Duncan, and he falls out the building and is speared on some masonry.
It's going to hurt, isn't it? Can you imagine if he landed in a slightly different way?
Yeah, how does that work? I guess it just heals itself.
I wouldn't like to be those people that come and cut him down in a minute, would you?
No, that's right, because some people do in a van marked coroner, and they take him away. Back in the antique store, Kel is annoyed that Carlos shot Duncan, and then he cuts Carlos's head off, and all his power is transferred to Kel.
This is the first quickening of the movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we've not had one yet, have we?
No.
Nice effect.
Yeah, lovely.
Lots of lightning and explosions and things.
Duncan awakes at the sanctuary, strapped in the chairs. Matthew the Watcher is just finishing off the fastenings, and he reveals that one of Duncan's kind has gone renegade, talking about Kel. He puts a syringe up Duncan's nose and injects him. That seems... Why up his nose?
That's what he's trying to get to the brain.
Yeah, you know how there's a quicker way to get to the brain?
Go on.
Put the syringe in his head.
You could go through the eyeball. That would be nasty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know. I mean, what is he actually injecting into him?
Don't know.
It's just some blue stuff. I'll tell you what it looked like. Do you remember those really sugary drinks that we used to drink in our youth?
You reckon it's one of them?
Yeah, what were they called? WKD or something like that? Remember those?
WD-40? What have you been drinking? Jesus. That explains a lot.
White spirit.
Shoe polish. Woohoo!
Only at the weekends.
Okay. Yeah, and Matthew says, sorry about that, but if there's always two, then the prize is safe. Although we don't know what the prize is, nobody knows what it is.
But it's safe.
But it's safe, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
The drugs knock Duncan out, but his dreams haunt him.
I mean, his flashbacks haunt him.
Why take him to the sanctuary? Because the renegade immortal, Kel, knows about this place because his gang have already attacked it once. Would it make it more sense to go find somewhere else on holy ground?
Yeah, I never thought of that, but yes, that is a good point. You wouldn't go back to the place that he already knows about, would you?
No.
Unless it's a double bluff. They think, he's going to think, he'd never think that we'd come back here, but, you know, if we did,
right,
it's a double bluff.
Okay.
Don't you think?
No.
Because these Watchers are clearly intelligent people, aren't they?
No.
Have you noticed that they all have tattoos?
Yes, on the wrists. That Duncan looks at, and you go, I don't know what that is.
Again, you need to watch the TV show.
No, I don't.
We'll do it one day, you know.
Now we flash back to Scotland, 1625. Connor is telling Duncan to get up, and this is Duncan's first return from the dead. Connor educated Duncan on what he'd become.
Now again, this is complete. We see this in the pilot of the TV series, and it's completely different.
Okay.
So again, they're contradicting themselves again.
Right. Back in New York, Duncan is surprised when his straps are undone and his helmet is removed by Dawson. Who the is Dawson, and where did he come from? We don't know.
He's a legless watcher. By legless, I mean he's got no legs. Time?
Oh, okay. He's like, Duncan, my old friend. What is that? Over your face. Let's get in the car, and you better drive, mate. You drive.
No, I realise that was a poor choice of words from me. So if there are any paraplegics out there listening to us, I do apologise.
But none of that's in the film. It doesn't tell you any of this. It's just a bloke who turns up.
He does that a lot in this movie, though, doesn't he? Turns up right near the end, doesn't he? And you're like, oh, I forgot you were in it.
Yeah. There's no reason for him to be in it. You could, because Dawson helps into a car driven by Mythos. You could have just had Mythos turn up and help him out.
Again, another problem is that they tried to shoehorn in these characters from the TV show because they're trying to give people what they think they want.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we got to have Mythos, we've got to have Dawson, we've got to have all these characters from the TV show, and somehow we've got to make it all work together.
Mythos hands Duncan his sword, and Duncan gets annoyed with him for some reason. He's really rude and he just wants to get out of the car. What's his problem at this point?
Didn't he say, you got blood on my sword?
That's it? Because he used his sword to kill someone to get the sword for him?
Well, he's very protective of his sword, you know. If he's going to put blood on it, he wants to at least know where the blood came from. I mean, you've got to think of hygiene, haven't you?
Jeez, get over yourself, Duncan.
It was the 90s, wasn't it? Anything. You could have caught anything back then.
He's immortal.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
Dawson
But still, you wouldn't risk it. You wouldn't risk it, would you?
Dawson asks him how many heads he's taken. Duncan says he doesn't keep count. Dawson has a computer that keeps tabs on how many kills an Immortal has done. 174 for Duncan. Kel the Immortal, that attacked Duncan in the antique store, has 661 kills.
Yeah, he brings up Wikipedia for watchers, doesn't he?
Yeah. So every not Highlander, but every Immortal has a watcher.
Yes, that is right. You got a problem with that? Go on.
Who pays them to do this job?
It's a calling, apparently.
How do they live? Do they have day jobs?
Yeah, they have to do this as well as having their own jobs. Yeah.
So does the Immortal fit in the killings around the watcher's job?
Well, you would imagine that most showdowns happen at night, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So
they can't do night jobs then?
You can't do night jobs, no.
Okay.
And you probably move around from city to city getting another job as you go, you know.
Right. So my feeling is these numbers are suspect.
What, you think that these watchers are just making it up?
Yeah, like how many's Duncan done? I don't know. I'll put 174. I don't know. And what about this guy? Well, he's been around a long time. Just do 661.
Is it like people that are paid to give out leaflets?
Yeah.
They give out 5 and then chuck the rest in the bin when no one's looking.
Yeah, no one's going to complain. Spend the rest of the day in the pub.
Oh, he killed about 15 immortals yesterday.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He was like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
He was just heads are flying everywhere.
Whew, never stopped.
That's funny, that, because I could have sworn he died last week.
Temporary.
Oh, it was a temporary death, was it?
Yeah.
His head was only half off.
That's right. That's right. He was only half dead.
Yeah. Half cut.
Yeah. Duncan wants to see Connor's body to make sure he really is dead.
Mm-hmm.
We see aerial shots of New York City and hear a harmonica playing, and then we close in on Kel, who is actually playing a harmonica in his vest.
Wouldn't it have been funnier if he was pretending to play one and then he just walked away and he didn't have one in his hand?
But what's the point of that scene?
He's looking cool, isn't he?
No.
He's leaning against a giant crucifix playing a harmonica.
In his vest.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
It's a very... Oh, come on. If it was a Bond villain, you wouldn't have a problem with it.
No, I really would.
Especially if it was played by Bruce Payne.
Yeah. We cut to Dawson, Mythos and Duncan heading into Connecticut, where they apparently buried Connor in a remote graveyard. Duncan enters the graveyard, while a voiceover reminds us what the hell's been going on so far.
Yes, it does, actually, yeah.
Duncan hears the sound. To his surprise, Connor enters. Connor explains why he walked out on his life. Rachel's death was the final straw for him, because he'd have to clean all his own stuff.
Oh, come on, that would push you over the edge as well.
They would.
He raised her since the 1940s. She's been working hard since she was 6 years old.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Why was Connor in this graveyard anyway? I know how long had he been there? Was he just lurking around waiting for the odd chance that someone turned up?
Yeah, right?
It's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? That he's there at the exact same moment that Duncan turns up.
Yeah, why don't you just... If you're going to meet him, just do it somewhere close. Why go all the way to Connecticut?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No.
All the people he's killed and seen killed over the years have had a toll on poor Connor. The sanctuary was his last refuge. Duncan asks how he escaped, but Connor says, didn't escape. I was like, oh. They both hear a sound. Faith and Kel approach. Apparently, this remote graveyard in Connecticut, not that remote, because everybody's here.
They all took the bus.
Did they follow him?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Unless they were, as I say, they were just lurking, waiting.
Yeah.
He's going to come. He's going to get here eventually, isn't he? We'll have a coffee.
Every remote graveyard.
Well, there's only one.
So it's this point that Connor realises that this renegade immortal is actually Jacob Kell, the person that he knew.
What? So he didn't know before?
No, how would he know?
I just presumed that he knew that this was the guy that had been torturing him all these years.
He didn't know that Kell was an immortal.
Oh, yeah, because doesn't Kell say he has the line, "We missed the signs, didn't we?"
Yeah, because back at the beginning when he's with his mum and he feels that pain, it's because Jacob is an immortal, but he doesn't know what that means at that point.
That's right, yeah, because they give off a faint immortal buzz even before they become immortal, don't they?
A pheromone.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah, a pheromone. It's like
a pheromone.
Yeah, it's like they
a pheromone.
It's like yeah, something like this. Oh,
you're not going to take the rubbish out. I think you should.
Oh. So he didn't know, and this is where he finds out. And at this point, Kell starts spouting some nonsense about being there when everybody is killed around Connor.
These monologues do great, don't they?
They're horrible.
Do you think the actor? Do you think Bruce Payne thought, "Oh, I've got some quality stuff to dig my acting teeth into"? Here.
I would say yes. I think he looked at the script and went, "Oh, this is some meaty dialogue that I've got," because he really plays it to the hilt. Oh
yeah, he's hamming it up. No end, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's chewing the scenery.
Yeah. So Connor pulls his sword out, and Kell says, "Will you kill another unarmed man again?" Mm-hmm. Duncan stares at Connor, and Kell says, "Oh, you don't know because he never told you. But why would he? I don't get what the big deal is at this point. I don't get what the conversation is, really."
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. He's making a big deal out of the fact that he killed an unarmed man, but A, he didn't kill him because he turned out to be immortal.
Right.
And B, did he really kill him, or did he just run onto his sword?
Yeah.
But then again, in the TV show, Duncan always was a self-righteous prick, so...
Okay, so that's what this is about.
Yeah, I think so.
Connor raises his sword, but Duncan reminds him they're on holy ground. Mm-hmm. Kell taunts him. "Don't you want to be inside me?"
Can we at least finish the podcast first, please?
That's what he says.
It's a good line.
Yeah. They step out of holy ground and they fight. Kell slashes at Connor. Faith watches. She really doesn't do anything in this whole scene. She doesn't have any lines or anything.
She doesn't have any facial expression either.
Connor loses his sword. Kell reveals that he will let him go until there is only two of them. Meanwhile, he will kill everybody that Connor loves. He says Duncan is on borrowed time. And then he leaves.
You know when Christophe Lambert fell on the floor? When Kell had beaten him? Mm-hmm. At this point, I looked at him and I just thought, it just suddenly occurred to me, what the hell is going on with Christophe Lambert's hair in this movie? It is a bizarre choice, isn't it, that he's going for?
I didn't pay much attention to it. What describe it for us?
He's got kind of like it's all slicked back on the top, and then long and loose over his ears, and it kind of just flaps around.
His ears?
No. No. It's just he just looks odd to me. And plus the fact that they're trying to hide the fact that he's about 20 years older than he was in the original movie, even though he doesn't age, apparently.
Oh, yeah, right. That's a good point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Duncan asks Connor, is what he said true? Oh, what's true? Connor replies, believe only what your heart and conscience tell you. Which isn't an answer. Not an answer, Connor. Not an answer.
On the plus side, though, you did a very good impersonation of him then.
It was accidental, but thanks.
It was even that or you're having a stroke. Is that what you said?
They're very similar acting styles. Duncan says, you taught me that with time anything can be forgiven. Did I? Replies Connor, and then walks away. Faith watches.
And then walks away.
Yeah. Flashback to around 1712, and Duncan and Kate, Faith.
I'm sorry. When you said that, then is that what the flashback subtitle said? Oh, around 1712.
No, there was no year on this flashback.
Right, okay.
That's why I had to say around 1712, because I know that he meets her in 1712, but I don't know how long the relationship progressed before they decided to get married.
Do you think the subtitle budget had run out at this point?
Possibly, yeah. They just thought, it doesn't matter. No one cares.
Well, they need to save the money for the fantastic finale that they're going to have later in the movie.
That's right. That's probably what it said in the script. Fantastic finale.
Yeah, because I mean, they don't want to have to stretch to having to reuse shots in the same fight scene, do they?
That's true. Yeah. Connor arrives at the wedding, and Connor and Duncan go out and start talking about Kate. Connor says, she's an immortal, but her immortal power cannot be triggered by a violent death, which hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
And Connor reveals a story of his wife cutting her hair off because it's the only bit of her that won't age. He tells Duncan that he doesn't have to watch his loved one grow old and die. And so Duncan and Connor argue about this, but I don't really know what they're arguing about.
Well, isn't Connor suggesting that he kill her so that she'll live forever with him?
And Duncan's saying
he doesn't want to do it, does he? Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. He says, I'll take her for as long as I can have her. Because the whole implication is that unless her immortality is triggered by a violent death, she'll just grow old and die like a normal human.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we get speeded up sections of New York and a fashion shoot.
Another one in a row. We had one last week, didn't we, in Cobra?
Yeah.
No robots this time, though.
No, yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, I was looking for the robots, actually. Or Sledgehammer, I'd have taken that, to be honest.
A natural sledgehammer right to the face. Duncan is walking around with rock music in the background. It turns out that Faith works at this fashion place thing, whatever the hell it is.
But it's her. It's actually her fashion show, isn't it?
Okay.
Because her name's everywhere, isn't it, in great big neon letters?
Oh, I thought it was just saying, you got to have faith.
Faith, please.
The film's nearly over. Have faith.
Yeah.
They argue. She's angry that she is immortal, that she can't have children or grow old with the one she loves. She hates him for what he did. Duncan says he knows it was wrong. Duncan wants to know why she's with Kel. She says she has never known anybody with such a capacity for hate except me.
And he goes, all right then, I'll see you. Bye.
Yeah. It's night. Duncan's walking down the street in slow motion in the rain.
Oh, there's a lot of that as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Sleeps on his sofa. Faith walks to a church. I guess she lives in the church.
Mm-hmm.
She opens a curtain and finds Kel moodily laying there. Okay, go on, ask the question.
You're going to say, how long was he laying in that position on that bed?
This is the second time we've had this kind of scene.
It is. He's laying there, he's been there for 3 hours, he's got cramp in one hand.
He's trying to
She
figure
says to him, she says, are you going to get up? He goes, no, I literally can't.
Yeah, he's seeing if he could read for a bit while he's laying there, but he can't.
Yeah, I've lost all sense of feeling in my left hand, but, I'm going to look cool when she walks in. So.
Right. Every time someone hears noises, he's like, oh, that's her. He says, you were with him. A woman is a temple built on a sewer. Remember what you were when I found you? A whore. Now look at you, a liberated whore. It just never makes any sense, this guy. I mean, there's some... And then we get some shitty banter between them.
Yes. Do you think that's what he said in the script? They couldn't bother writing the lines. This was just some shitty banter. Ad lib.
Slow motion again. Faith enters Duncan's room and she takes her clothes off.
And we get some sexy time, don't we? Mixed in with sexy flashbacks.
Yeah.
We get gratuitous bums as well, don't we?
I'm sorry, all I can think of is bread rolls now for some reason. I'm really hungry now.
Not buns, Colin.
Not buns. Sorry.
Bums. Gratuitous bums.
Okay. Right.
We get hers, then we get his, and I'm pretty sure neither of them are the actors.
Probably not. And it shows the incident in the past where he waited until she was asleep and then stabbed her to turn her into an immortal.
Yeah, break it to her gently, why don't you?
Yeah. Doesn't explain
You might as well
anything.
just set her on fire or something.
That's right. Back in the present, he apologises again and she says, you had no right. Mm-hmm. Then it shows her waking up in the past and Duncan telling her she's an immortal and she's running away. Back in the present, she says, you forced it on me. Boy, she does some complaining.
Oh, I don't know. I think one of the things I like about Highlander is that, the idea that these immortals, they are damaged, aren't they? At the end of the day. I mean, okay, it sounds great on paper at first, I would imagine, being immortal, but after the first couple of 100 years, you're going to be bored shitless, aren't you?
I kind of like the idea, but okay.
Come on, I get bored after a week. Not a week of immortality.
Yeah, it's like, I'll give it up now. Change my mind. Take it back. Why did you come? Asked Duncan, to see if I could feel something. She replies, then leaves. As she enters the elevator, Duncan runs after and stops the doors from closing and says, the difference between Connor and I is as long as you're alive, then I might be forgiven one day. It may take years, centuries even, but at least I can carry that hope inside of me. There's always tomorrow, even for us. What's Connor got to do with the bloody conversation? Nobody brought him up. It's not like Faith said, "You're just like Connor," and then walked out, and then he could say, "Oh, the difference between Connor and I is..." She should have just gone, "Why do you mention? Are you in love with Connor? Why did you mention him?"
Yeah, you mention him all the time. What's going on? Do you want to marry him?
Do you want sugar in your tea, Faith? Yes, I'll take 2. Oh, Connor only takes 1. Well, I don't get the conversation. It's just like, it doesn't. Again, maybe something was cut out, but it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense when you put it that way. No, it doesn't. No. It's just poorly thought out dialogue, isn't it?
Yeah. At a disused warehouse, Faith walks along and encounters Jin. Now, she makes the mistake of asking him what he is thinking, because he then spouts off more points of incoherent garbage. But he does finish off with one interesting thing. He says, "One day we will all serve very little purpose to Kel, except dead." Is he only just getting this?
He seems to be the only one out of this biker gang that is getting this as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
And isn't he supposed to be like a legendary Chinese warlord or something? General or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Who's full of honour and fought in so many battles that you'd imagine that he's probably quite clued in on this kind of stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think so, but no. We get a dinner party resembling the Last Supper with Kel, in which he tells them they're all part of a great journey, a 400-year quest for justice.
Can I just ask you, just before we get to the dinner party, when she's talking to Donnie Yen in that scene, did I imagine it? Or did they look up and Bruce Payne's character is watching them and he's wearing an apron?
Oh, I didn't notice.
I'm sure he was standing there and he's obviously been
cooking dinner.
He's been cooking, yes.
Yeah.
But he's wearing an apron. I just thought it was an odd choice.
Well, he doesn't want gets food on his clothes.
Wouldn't it be funny if it was a comedy apron? You know, it had a pair of breasts on it. And
was he wearing the apron later?
No, he's not.
Because that'd be useful. He's chopping people's heads off. You wear an apron then.
That's when you think it would be relevant, yeah. But no.
Oh, okay. So he holds up a sword and splits it into 2 for some reason, and then starts cutting the heads off everybody at the table. And they just appear to sit there and let him do it.
Yeah, some of them are even smiling, aren't they?
See, and I don't wonder why were they following him in the first place? Because they know this is the only thing that can happen.
It's interesting, actually. I did read that there was in the original version of this scene, Donnie Yen's character actually cuts his own head off to
get out the film.
Apparently, he sticks his sword into the wall and then runs into it and cuts his own head off so that Kel can't have his quickening.
Oh, that's interesting.
But they thought it was brutal and dark, so they cut it out.
Wow, the only imaginative part in the film.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So he kills them all until only Faith is left.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, sensing something, Duncan gets out of bed.
Yep. He's got the buzz on. He's feeling that buzz.
Because at Kel's lure, all the power of the people he's killed is going into Kel's body, and he's like
floating at one point, isn't he?
Yeah. Back at Duncan's, he's in his PJs and he exits the roof of his building. I guess that's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And he approaches somebody who thinks it's Kel, but it's actually Connor.
Yep, waiting for him. And this is the big moment, isn't it? The two characters going to have a showdown.
Yeah, it's like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in Heat.
It is. It's like Batman v Superman.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They have the same enthusiasm for both those scenes. Duncan says, "What the hell is going on?" Connor says, "Put some clothes on." Mm-hmm. He doesn't. He didn't.
He's hanging out.
Connor pulls his sword out.
Ooh.
The only way to beat Kel is if they combine the power of Duncan and his. Connor says Kel is going to kill you just to taunt me. But Connor says that if Duncan kills him, then the power combined can defeat Kel. Duncan refuses, so Connor fights him. I mean, he tries to fight him, doesn't he? If Duncan refuses, then Connor will just kill him, and with the combined power...
I'm pretty sure someone fights him. I don't think it's Christopher Lambert. I think it's...
Oh, right, someone, yeah. Christopher
it's some guy.
Yeah. Duncan can't kill him. He says to Connor, "Do you remember when you first found me sitting in that bog? Oh, that'll be that immortal stomach problem again."
Doesn't he refer to it as a bloody bog as well?
Yeah, that was too disgusting.
Yeah, we've all had those days, haven't we?
Yeah, and nights.
And
But one of them has to die now. Connor is going to kill Duncan, but using the move that Connor taught him. Oh, remember that?
Oh, yeah, that special move.
Yeah. Duncan reluctantly kills Connor and takes his power.
He does. Now, interesting fact about Christophe Lambert's fighting,
Can I just point out, it's the second time you've used the term interesting fact, and I'm still waiting.
Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
Trust me. Christophe Lambert is blind as a bat, apparently. He wears glasses and he can't wear contacts. So any actor who even remotely tries to fight him with swords is taking his life into his own hands.
Wow,
apparently.
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. He has to... that's why he's so stiff. That's why he can't... He doesn't look like someone that knows what he's doing when he's doing the fight scenes, does he? Even in the close-ups.
Huh.
He's really stiff because he has
to
rehearse
always been
it.
Like this?
Yeah. Going back to the first Highlander movie, he had to rehearse everything so much so that he wouldn't go and clock someone around the head with the sword.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And from what I gather, Adrian Paul was the first actual actor that was allowed to actually be in a fight scene with him, because up to that point it was always stunt doubles.
That either means they trusted Adrian Paul or they didn't care.
Or they didn't have one on the payroll at that point.
They're like,
yeah,
we'll get another one. There's hundreds of Adrian Pauls out back.
But that's where Christophe Lambert's trademark moody stare comes from, because he's squinting.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Because he can't see anything, apparently. Yeah.
So we see flashbacks of Connor's previous life, and there's lightning and fire, etc., etc. And now we cut to Duncan practicing old sweaty in a specially lit shot, like he's warming up for a photo shoot in a Pirelli calendar.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, yeah.
And we appear to be in a disused factory.
We are, but then we're not, are we?
I don't know where we are. Are we in a factory or are we not? It could be an orange grove factory.
But then there'd be smelting equipment, wouldn't
there? Is fire later.
Actually, yes, there is. It's coming out of the floor for some reason.
Orange grove factory.
I'll take it.
Okay.
It's good enough for Cobra, it's good enough for Highlander Endgame.
Yep. Kel turns up.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be able to turn up at each other's locations really easily.
Well, it's that Highlander radar, isn't it?
Right.
That's what it is.
You don't have a funny conjugation of the Highlander and radar that you usually come up with that only works.
Haidar? Blandar? Ray Haidar? No, all right.
The answer is no.
No, I don't. No.
If
you gave me more time, you should have given me this. Give it to me about a week ago. I'd have come up with something.
Okay.
I wouldn't actually. But
Kel congratulates Duncan for killing a brother and asks him if it feels good.
Cool, you sold that one then, didn't you?
Yeah, like, they begin to fight, and there's dangly chains. What are those dangly chains for?
I thought we should have gone into Hellraiser with the dangly chains. And I'm pretty sure when they start the fight, they're in the church.
No,
in the cathedral bit, and then they fall off into and land into a warehouse or a disused factory.
I thought they were always in a factory.
No, they start off on that long colonnade.
Isn't he practicing a factory?
No. When they walk towards each other slowly, and they're on that long colonnade with the pillars. Then they grab each other and they fall off the edge of it, and they land in a factory.
All right.
There's a factory below the cathedral. Is it one of those cathedral stroke factories that they've got going on in Romania?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
Duncan is badly wounded. Up in an office, Matthew has a sniper rifle, is about to shoot when Dawson appears and kills him. How do these people just appear?
Don't ask.
After killing Matthew, Merry Christmas, says Dawson, completely missing the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, and doesn't he's already killed him with 2 shots, and then he feels the need to unload the rest of the gun into him while he's dead, doesn't he?
Maybe he just had personal issues with Matthew. Maybe Matthew left with his wife or something. And this is all backstory the actors have worked up.
Yeah, between them, off camera.
Highlander Endgame, Christmas film.
I never thought of that. Yeah, you could watch that after Cobra, couldn't you?
Yeah, because there is a Christmas tree at some point, I remember seeing.
There is. And as you say, Dawson says Merry Christmas when he violently kills this guy. So, yeah. Now, did you notice in this fight scene they reuse a whole section of it twice?
I did not. It was so cleverly done, it just passed me by, or maybe I was asleep.
There's a whole section where they're fighting, and it's just before we get to the fire moment, and then they cut to them fighting on. From that moment, they cut away before we get to the fire moment, and they cut to them now fighting suddenly on a catwalk. Then they fall off the catwalk, and then it cuts to Duncan tying a tourniquet around his leg, and he says, "Time to end this, Kel, whatever his name is." And then they replay the whole segment again from scratch, but this time not cutting when we get to the fire moment. It's literally about a 2-minute fight scene that they reuse.
Wow.
The entire same sequence of fighting.
Okay.
I mean, it's obviously done to make the fight scene longer, and I suppose the first time you ever watch it, you probably wouldn't notice.
Right.
Apart from the fact that he takes his jacket off and then he's magically got it back on again.
Okay. They are supernatural.
There you go. There's that magic that you wanted from the trailer.
Excellent.
There it is. Yeah.
Kel reveals that he's killed Kate. Kel and Duncan exchange quips. It looks like Duncan is done for, but Duncan regains strength and says there can be only one. Jumps over Kel and says, "You're not it," and chops his head off.
Yeah, that backflip's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, but don't you think that should have been when the special move was used?
Well, he does the special move and he beats it, doesn't he? Because he's got a hidden...
Oh, Kel does the special move.
No, Duncan does the special move on Kel, and he thinks he's got him.
No, he
but
doesn't.
he's got a... Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because he's got something off his sleeve, hasn't he? To block it.
Okay.
He has a knife that pops out of his sleeve. Would you fall asleep at this point, Colin?
Maybe. It's possible.
Were you up in that bloody bog?
Not coming out
Yes.
till it's over.
Yeah. So he does the special move and it fails because he blocks it.
Ah, okay. And so he chops Kel's head off. There's a huge firework display.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to musical pipes. Connor's grave somewhere in the Scotland Highlands.
Mm-hmm. You just bury people wherever you like up there, can't you?
Apparently so, as long as there's pipes playing.
Yeah. It's in the contract.
Yeah. Then Connor's back in New York. He visits Kate's workplace and he sees her. It turns out that for whatever reason, Kel didn't kill her. "You can always trust me, Faith," he tells her. "Faith is dead. I thought I'd give Kate another try," she replies. And they kiss. It seems she got over that whole "I hate you for making me immortal against my wishes" thing.
Well, now he's got rid of Cal. She's happy, isn't she?
All right, yeah. And then we get credits, and that's the end of Highlander Endgame.
It is. Well,
Do you want me to go first?
not really. Because I know what you're going to say.
No, you go first then. Go on.
Well, look, it's no secret, is it, that I'm a big Highlander fan. You know this, don't you?
I know this, yes.
Particularly the first movie. I'm a big fan of the first movie. Not so much the other movies. And I did love the TV series. But the TV series was very different to this film. I mean, Duncan MacLeod was a character that grew through seasons. He wasn't the same character by the time we get to the end of the series that he was at the start of the series. The actor grew into the role. The character grew as the show went on, and on the whole, it was a really enjoyable TV series.
But we're not reviewing the TV series.
No, and I'm getting to that now. And this is the point with this movie. This movie should have been good. It was meant to be, as we say, combining the movie universe and the TV universe, and passing of the torch, and go on to bigger things. But it didn't work because, I mean, it was badly put together. There's too much assumption that the audience will come into the film having seen everything and be completely up to speed with everything that's happened in the Highlander universe up to that point. You can't do that if you're going to... I mean, it's a soft reboot. What they're aiming for is a soft reboot, isn't it? Mm. You can't do that and just assume that everybody's going to be on board with everything to do with the lore of the Highlander universe. I mean, it's got some good action in it, but it's ruined by terrible dialogue, terrible acting, even from Adrian Paul, who, as I say, was good in the show. Mm-hmm. And it's just dull. It's boring.
Right.
And this is from someone... I mean, I own this movie because I'm a Highlander fan and I'm a completist, but I wouldn't choose to watch it.
Okay.
So it's a no from me. It's a no from me with a caveat that the show deserves to be looked at on its own merit, and you shouldn't judge the show because of this movie.
Right.
Or any of the other movies, particularly the first one.
Right.
So it's a no from me.
Okay.
Surprisingly, you're surprised at that, aren't you? Did you think I was going to defend it?
I didn't know how you could. I was curious.
Go on then, give it to me then, be blunt.
In our last episode, you said that Cobra was the worst film we'd seen so far.
Uh-huh.
Well, step aside, Marion Cabretti. There's a new king in town. If I was not watching this for the podcast, I would have turned it off long before it finished because it's truly a piece of crap.
Okay.
First off, the dialogue.
I will agree that Cobra is better, sorry, yeah.
It's full of self-important spiritual gibberish that makes no sense and never moves the plot forward. It believes that it's so deep and meaningful when in fact it's the complete opposite. And the worst offender of this is Kel.
Mm-hmm.
He's a villain so undefined and tedious that when he starts talking, I find myself mentally purring my socks in chronological order of dates of when I last wore them. What's his motivation?
It's meant to be purely vengeance, isn't it?
Really? He spent 400 years not killing Connor, but killing the people he loved. But in such a way that Connor clearly didn't know this was happening. So what was the point?
Well, this is the thing. I never realised that until you said it. I always assumed that this is something that he'd lived with throughout the centuries, that he knew that this guy was tormenting him. But it makes sense what you're saying, because obviously we've never heard anything about this guy before, have we, in 3 previous movies? So, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Oh. You're right.
He's so filled with revenge of the death of his father, even though his father was willing to set immortals and their mothers on fire, even though his son is one.
But did he know his son was one?
But his son knows his dad, so his son's like, oh, my dad hates immortals and wants to kill them. Oh, you've killed my dad. I'm going to get revenge for that. Yeah, but your dad's a piece of shit, so...
Yeah, but it's family.
Then there's a group of immortals. Why are they following him? Because they're just going to kill him. We know that. That seems odd. And like you said, the film insists on using characters from the TV series with no explanation, or little explanation of who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we get Mythos. Who is it? Is this Paul Wingfield?
Yeah. Mythos is a great character in the TV show.
Really?
He's meant to be one of the oldest immortals. He's supposed to have been around since the Dark Ages.
This is my problem with him. Wingfield is such a dull-looking actor. He has all the charisma and excitement of a real estate salesman.
But again, let me just say, again, in the TV show, that he's meant to look that way because that's how he's survived for so long.
Yeah, I don't like that. If I want a 1,000-year-old immortal, he should be greater than life, a formidable force of power and strength. But Mythos is somebody who, if you accidentally cross the wrong box in your tax returns, he'd tut really loudly.
Yeah, he does have that look about him, doesn't he?
I've never liked him in the TV show either.
Mm-hmm.
The film looks like it had a shoestring budget. No, forget that. Everyone probably wore slip-ons because they couldn't afford shoestrings.
Oh, no, Kel had shoes.
Did he? Oh, yeah, because he had these little things on the back of him.
He did, yeah.
The whole affair smells like a cheap attempt to cash in on the last suffocating cries of a once-loved idea.
Wow, that was poetic.
The funny, and I'm using air quotes, funny, moments feel forced and, good lord, so many tedious flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you took those flashbacks out, the actual story would run for about 10 minutes, which is still 9 minutes too long. Paul?
True. Yeah, I agree with you.
Paul? I hate this film.
I'm getting that vibe, funnily enough.
So for me, this film would have to improve 1,000% to be a miss.
Wow. It's so far off that it's not even touched
not even in the same universe.
Didn't touch the sides.
Nope. Yeah. Wow. No, this is horrible.
Well, can I ask you a question though?
Nope.
Before we finish about Highlander.
Yes. Go on.
Do you think, there's all this talk of bringing it back, a reboot? Don't you think that at least at the very heart, the idea is worth? It could be something special. It could be done well. Not this movie. I'm not talking about this movie, but generally the whole idea of Highlander. Immortals living forever, having to fight each other for some reason that even they don't understand.
No, chop its head off.
Really? You don't like it at all?
You're
a fan of the original movie,
I like the first film because it's fun and it's entertaining, but I don't buy into this story that they've tried to shoehorn into all this backstory and mythology that they've just made up and tried to fit into it. It just feels desperate.
It feels desperate in this movie, but I think it is an idea that's worth exploring if it's done well. And a modern Highlander movie with the aesthetics of modern day, can you imagine the kind of fight scenes that you could do? That you get the team that did John Wick to choreograph the fight scenes.
But how do you feel about the chopping heads off these days?
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? I mean, heads still come off in movies, Colin, don't they?
Name me one recent.
Hasn't it happened in a Star Wars movie recently?
What kind of Star Wars movie are you watching?
I'm pretty sure that Darth Vader in Rogue One at the end was hacking people's heads off, wasn't he? In a very Star Wars Disney-like kind of way.
As in, not hacking heads off.
Oh, there's got to be some horror movies with some decapitations going on.
Maybe if they do it right, I guess. All right, I'll let you have that. But this film's garbage.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
It's not. I don't feel as strongly against it as you do, but it is bad. It is bad.
Well, having said that, that brings us to the end of this episode of Retrospection and to the end of our first series.
It does. How do you feel about it?
It's been long. Oh, Jesus, it's been long. Oh, Jesus. It's been so long.
The series or this movie that we just...
Both.
It's been fun, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've enjoyed doing it. We're only going to take a month off, and then we'll be back with Series 2.
Yeah. We're not going away for good.
No, and I can tell you some of the stuff that will be coming up in Series 2. We'll be doing, and not probably in this order, but we'll be doing Carry On Up the Jungle.
Yay.
Who Dares Wins.
Yay.
The Omega Man. Biggles.
Yay.
Cruel. Howard the Duck. Runaway. And the original Judge Dredd film.
Oh, I feel that bloody Bog's calling me again.
So that's the highlights. Wait till you see the lowlights.
I know, so strap in, everybody.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you'd like to email us, you can reach us at retrospection@email.com. You can also find us on Twitter @retrospecky, and you can also look at our Facebook page, and you can listen to the themes or the songs from the films and TV shows on our Spotify playlist.
You can, and I update it frequently.
Yes, you do.
I do indeed.
He said, sounding like someone who's never actually looked at it.
So we'll see you all in 4 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enjoy spring, autumn,
whatever point in the year you listen to this. I mean, it's on the internet. It's all relative. You could be listening to this in at Christmas. That's right. Couldn't you?
Yeah.
So Merry Christmas, everybody.
So
go and watch Highlander
Happy New
Endgame.
Year.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to say thank you to all the people who've been listening and downloading the episode so far, and I hope to see you in season 2.
Yeah, because we'll be here if you're not.
Yeah, right. We're doing this anyway, regardless. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.